Hello, and welcome to this 8th issue of the Maternity and Midwifery Hour. I'm Jenny Hall, and I'm certainly not Sue MacDonald, who you usually would see on these kind of events. I'm actually stepping in for her tonight because she's having a well-earned night off. So a quick hello to Sue when you'll be watching this yourself, and I hope everything's okay for you. Just for people who are not familiar with the Midwifery Hour, these sessions were designed originally to provide continuing professional development opportunities for midwives and student midwives and others in maternity care. And it started off actually during the time we first went into lockdown. And so it's obviously running now. And for those who are not in England, we are in lockdown too at this moment. But these are all the recordings are accessible now if you wanted to go and find them. And they're going to be accessible in the future too. And a big thanks to everybody at Matflix, my colleagues who are the video streaming for maternity experts. And if you haven't found out about Matflix, then do go and find out what we have been doing to provide CPD and revalidation for you, for midwives and students and everybody else. So and you can come back and talk to me about that at any time. But tonight I have the great privilege to be joined by Joyce Adu Amankwa, who's the specialist hemoglobinopathies midwife, and a consultant hematologist, Rachel Kasu Adu. And I will introduce them properly in a little while. But the subject that we have tonight is to talk about sickle cell disorders in pregnancy and other hemoglobinopathies. And incidentally, this was a topic that was suggested by Jane Radat. And hello, Jane, if you are online. And thank you for contacting us and asking for this subject. If anyone else has an idea for a topic that you would like for Midwifery Hour, then please contact us, because then we should be able to arrange something like this for you. And do feel free to make contact with us at any time. So to Rachel and Joyce to start with, we start with usually asking you about what your moment of the week is, and whether it's a reflection of an event or something that's happened that stands out good or bad for your week. So Rachel, do you want to start with saying what your moment has been?
Well, technically it was last week, but it still holds true for this week. It has to be the Biden win in America, although it's all a bit ropey at the moment. But yes, that was my top moment. Still is.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's not ropey, it's great.
Well, shenanigans ongoing, but yeah.
Well, I know. I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah,
And actually trying to keep off CNN, trying to work out what exactly is going to happen next is quite interesting. But yeah, it's a great moment, wasn't it?
It was.
Is still. It was. And Joyce, have you got anything special that you want to say?
Well, I think it's my computer skills or IT skills that I have found it interesting to sort of update and learn. As we're trying to get onto the Zoom, it took a long time. And even when I came home to try, it wasn't still, so I wasn't successful. So I had to have alternative, which is good. It opened my eyes to the age we are in now, and the knowledge and the skills we need to provide care in every aspect.
Yeah, well, we're all learning all the time, aren't we? Lifelong learning, and certainly we're on a huge learning curve with what's happening with telemedicine and everything else that's happening for us at the moment. So yeah, I think that's a very good thing that you've mentioned there. So just to send out a shout out to everybody who's working in practice at the moment, and obviously the COVID rates are still a bit unstable, still going up, and sadly we've heard again today that a lot of people have died. So just to send out our solidarity to all of you who are working in practice at the moment, and also in education, to my colleagues in education and all that you're doing to keep going, because I know how hard that is, and for students too. It's a very difficult time. But there's been some really interesting things also happening in the news this week, apart from the American election, which has obviously been fascinating, but some pieces of news were actually buried as well because of the coverage of that. And one of them was in a very important parliamentary debate that took place on baby loss. And a very important issue from that that perhaps if you have time to go and look it up, because actually it shows how potent the issue is of partners having access to scans and consultations. And it's important to make sure that we are in our trusts are trying to support women and their partners to be able to get to scans and to get that support that they need, because they're missing out on it. Another piece of news that may have passed you by, but it seems that UNICEF has very clearly said over the past couple of years that formula should not be given out at food banks. Now, obviously, at this point in time where people are struggling much more, there have been some news reports coming out suggesting that food banks not being able to give out formula is meaning that some babies are going hungry, that milk is being watered down, etc. UNICEF has actually given a statement to say that in an emergency situation that you should be able to give out milk, but there should be supplies within the local community, and health visitors and midwives should be aware of those women who are needing help. So just passing on that message to all of you to be very aware of women who might be needing food banks, might also be needing supplies on formula milk as well, and to follow that discussion with UNICEF and the Baby Friendly. And a final piece of news that has also affected our colleagues in Ireland is that there has been lost my piece of paper, but there's been a temporary ban at the moment of home births in the community by the HSE because of a couple of incidents that happened in the community. So we're sending out support to our colleagues in Ireland, because there will be obviously an investigation that takes place, but that does mean that women will not be able to have the water births and home births that they wanted at this time. So just passing on our support to you, and just follow those pieces of information in the news and keep up to date with that. So I am now going to talk about what we're going to be talking about, which is around sickle cell and blood disorders in pregnancy. And the episode is going to explore antenatal and newborn testing, care and family support for birthing women with sickle cell and other hemoglobinopathies during pregnancy, and in particular ethnic groups who might be most at risk. And we have Joyce, as I've said, who's specialist, a hemoglobinopathies midwife, and Rachel will be speaking about the challenges presented during COVID when providing contemporary care, and including an overview of the biological and pathophysiological background of hemoglobinopathies. All very important things for us to know and to understand. And Joyce will be talking about the midwifery aspects, particularly of supporting women and families, including a client-centred care to pregnant and childbearing women with hemoglobinopathies. So to start with, I am going to introduce Rachel.
Thanks for watching this video from the Maternity and Midwifery Forum. For more expert opinion and analysis, hit the button below to subscribe.